Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. It is Saturday morning here in Chicago. Welcome to Elio with Cafe YouTube channel. And today we're going to keep it very simple. We're just going to take a look at the Nasdaq Composite, and because it's pretty large market that has a good kind of handle on the way everything else behaves. And then we're also going to take at a look at Bitcoin, and that's about it. I'm going to keep it very simple. We're going to start with an Nasdaq Composite here with a longer term time frame. We're looking at a 2 week chart, or 2 weeks, but kind of going back up into the 70s. We have a wave 1 cycle, a wave 2 cycle, and I think we're on this larger wave 3. Now what I've done here, I've done a couple of very simple things. I've basically measured the length of the wave 1 in terms of time, and this took about 25 years. And in Motivate you can do this very simple. You just go on a wave and just kind of click on that, and then it shows you kind of time analysis, wave 3 versus wave 1. And so this took about 25 years. I doubt that if we're on a larger third wave, this will take let's say half of what wave 1 took. It should take at least the same amount of years, and this kind of pushes us into around 2035 and beyond. 100% comes in at about 2034, measured from the bottom of the wave 2. So you can see 25 years from 2009 gets us somewhere up there. So I don't know. I mean, it's we're still in a pretty decent bull market here, uptrending channel, however you want to call it, and probably we'll start to see a top of the wave 1 this year. We'll have to kind of take it, obviously, day by day, week by week. If I go back to a weekly chart, I'll show you some of the internal structures in here from the bottom of the wave 2. It looks like still a tight consolidation here that should resume higher in this wave 5 of this lower higher degree wave 5 in a minute degree, and then we go up to this minor. So it's still I still think there's further upside here, followed by another little bit of a correction, and then one more push. So that's kind of my roadmap on Nasdaq Composite, and kind of how I see the market developing. We've been in a very, very choppy period here, and we seem to be closing down on Fridays, and then gap down on Mondays, then recover through the week, and then sell again. So it's a little bit of a tug of war, but a lot of stocks are acting very nice and pretty strong. There's a lot of breakouts, a lot of good trends. It doesn't really look like a market that is diverging in many areas, or losing momentum, or deteriorating at a rapid pace. Obviously, we have a new administration, new political kind of landscape here, a lot of news. We got to kind of navigate all of that, but basically, I'm watching my stocks. I'm watching where the stops are. I try to respect all those levels, and then just get out when the market tells me to. I talk about all this stuff on every single day on our videos: what I buy, what I sell, kind of what I look for on a breakout, what are my limits. So we've done pretty well so far this year with with our purchases, and you just got to kind of pick something that has relative strength versus the market, and has pretty good chart patterns. But the direction of the market seems to, although somewhat, let's say, non-directional for the past several weeks here, if you zoom out, I think it's still in a pretty solid, decent uptrend here. So this is Nasdaq Composite, and so that's kind of my view on it. Now let's jump over to Bitcoin. I'm going to keep this video fairly short. Go on Bitcoin here, and you can see kind of my weekly time frame. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and you could see how we're stalling a little bit in Bitcoin. It's acting a bit weak, not really following through some of the buys that were happening a few days back, and it's just kind of struggling here to continue to advance. And my debate is, are we close to completing this wave 5? or could be already completed, or we still have to do another push here, up towards 129 before this is done. So the debate is this a fourth wave, before you complete either the top of this wave 5 or the top of this wave 1? That's the question. And the answer to that, it's still out there. Obviously, it's not going to be, the market is not going to make it that easy for us. But if you start to do break below this level at about 90,000, looks like, I think there's a decent chance that we will begin a decline in this wave 2. And this wave 2, you can see the fibs, right? 23%. Let's say that that's kind of already out there. You could look at about 38.2, which is 80,000, and then the deep one would be down into 66, right? So it could be some kind of a decline into 66,000. That would match, these levels back here somewhat. I guess we could go a bit lower, right? So anywhere between 50%, 73 to 66 would be an area where we would have, let's say, the most decent support if we start to lose these levels. The current levels are a little bit low, right? So below 90,000. That's in case we would have a wave 2. Now, if you would have a wave 2 at a larger degree, so let's say that we're not in this wave 2, but wave 5 is done, right? Then you start to look at the, you should have a heavier decline somewhat. And it would take time. Obviously, that thing would not be finished, but I would look for that. It would not be quick. It would not happen quickly, but you would have basically, let's say that if that's done, you would have a wave 1 in here of this larger wave 3, and then you would have to do some kind of a decline like that, right? So you could be, maybe even cut in half or something like that all the way up here towards 55, 60,000 before, and that would coincide with the bottom of this channel, and then you would start to move back into the next move. So you see there are several options here. Again, bottom line for me would be this line here, and then we'll take it first, into how would this look, and then if progresses, then we'll just, we know we have these two options on the table. Both of them, will tell you there is some kind of a correction happening. So, I'm still kind of hopeful and kind of holding on to the idea that this is still in some kind of a consolidation, fourth wave type of a pattern. Maybe even a short second wave, and then you push higher into the 130, right? Because if this was it, if this is going to be a short second wave right here, you can start to really accelerate into 3, 4, and 5 and create more of an extended fifth wave. To start to think about, a larger wave 3 somewhere back there, into the 250,000, maybe 350,000, over the next, who knows, maybe, I don't know, 5, 7 years, something like that, maybe shorter than that. But again, I look at this stuff every day, and I try to analyze kind of what's happening in the Bitcoin market, from a daily perspective as well, looking at the, kind of how each candle behaves, how we close, how the volume looks. Now, this is the weekly chart, which is really, if you look at it, is really not doing anything wrong, right? It's just kind of sideways, and it's just kind of consolidating. So, you can't really say that it's about to break in a massive way here or something. So let me take a look. I was trying to keep this under 10 minutes, but let me just take a look at the daily routine here, and we'll go and look at the daily charts on Bitcoin and see how that looks. So let me go here to my Bitcoin chart, and you see on a shorter term, this candle here was a pretty good signal that we were probably trying to recover and move back to the upside. But the fact that we failed, that's not a positive sign. It's more like, well, the market recovered after that quick sell-off, and it's not really continuing, right? So there's something else happening. This correction can continue, and you can see how you're getting rejected from those smaller moving averages, right? From like the 20-day and even the 50 days up there. So now we're crossing over. You got the MACD that's starting to push into the negative territory. The RSI is down into 40. So from a daily perspective, we got to be patient. There's not much to do. There's no signals here that tells you, hey, buy it or get aggressive in Bitcoin, anything like that. It's literally just, we just got to exercise patience. Because, you can even look at it like that, right? So that's why I'm thinking it could be some kind of fourth wave that's still developing. On the weekly basis, it doesn't look that bad. And then, if you put the wave counts on it, you can see how you got kind of have several options. So we'll know when we look for signs. Like, I'm not trading based on this wave counts yet because there's literally no signal for me. So I watch this as a roadmap, and then I go and I study the price section and the candles on a daily basis. I'm looking at the volume, looking at the RSI, and then see if there is anything that's kind of worth taking, just like we've done, from this reversal back here with a nice signal on this candle and the following one that the market is going to shoot higher, and that gave us a nice trade up into the 110. But then it's starting to fall apart, move sideways, gave you a chance to look into it, decide, get out, take profits, all of that. And so for right now, it's not looking, let's say, that healthy right at the moment. Since I'm this, let's quickly take a look at the technical page too. So again, Nasdaq composite here. I'm sorry, New York Stock Exchange, the NYSE, good volume coming back from the 10-week. So decent close, nothing wrong with that, right? I can't get bearish based on that. The S&P, yeah, it's got a couple of higher rejections, but bottom line, it's going to be this level back here, right? If you start to get back below that, we got a problem, and I think that correction can then continue. So that would be kind of my line in the sand there. Nasdaq Composite, we just talked about it in terms of the wave counts, but that candle of that low right there, that would be a pretty good sign that we would probably go towards the 40-week in there in the Nasdaq Composite, and then Dow Jones, doesn't look that bad. The Russell, yeah, it failed. You see how many attempts it had above the 10-week moving average, and it failed to close. But I do still consider, this candle here as being important, especially, with the good volume there. So maybe this is just a nice 61.8 correction, and we can turn back. We'll see. And then we talked about Bitcoin, and then the US dollar. It's just, been selling off this week, so that's probably a positive for the market. And gold, it's remains in a nice strong uptrend. The signal was basically right here. This formation, nice bullish engulfing. The buyer stepped in, corrected a little bit of that, and then pushed higher. So I'm looking for something similar in the markets after this pullback. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.